not joke about that.
Yeah, that's not funny, Arthur. That's not the kind of humor we do on this show.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's just, it's been a rough few weeks, Murray. You got nothing left to lose. Nothing can hurt me anymore. My life is nothing but a comedy.
I mean, there's so much self-pity, Arthur. You sound like you're making excuses for killing those young men. Not everybody, and I'll tell you this, not everyone is awful. Jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done
ill
with
loner
this.
with
That's
a
it.
society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you f***ing deserve.
Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Eric and Rob.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Throwback Thursday. And I know what y'all saying. This ain't old. This ain't from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. I know. Breaking the rules, damn it. Because there's a reason we're doing Joker, okay? The Flash is coming out here in a couple weeks. The original Batman, my original Batman, it's not
not my original Batman.
not Adam West. That's the original
That's
Batman.
my original Batman right there.
Michael Keaton was my first Batman. I have seen Adam West, but Michael Keaton was my original Batman. And he's back in black. So it's only appropriate that we do his nemesis, and then next week we'll have a Batman movie. Have to decide on that. Man, I might even put up a poll and let y'all decide what we do as far as Batman goes. But I would like to do 89 because that would make sense, you know. You know, there's a lot of people have said that when the 1989 Batman came out, that Jack Nicholson, hands down, was the best Joker. Nobody's going to be able to follow it. And that's it.
Jack is dead, my friend. You can call me Joker. And as you can see, I'm a lot happier.
Nobody really played Joker since him until 2008 when Heath Ledger donned the makeup again as Joker.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off.
How about a magic trick?
It's gone.
And I can't think of his last name. Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight. And the casting of Heath Ledger was curious. I mean, I'm like, yeah, the Knight dude, the Brokeback Mountain dude, is gonna play the Joker. What was that? It was one of those other, teenage movies. He was like, this dude's gonna be Joker? No. Shit, proved everybody wrong.
Come on, I want you to do it. Come on, hit me. Come on, hit me. Hit me!
And then he became the new. Well, you can't top that because that was the Joker. That was epic. What he did, everybody remembers the pencil trick. Everybody remembers all the crazy shit he did and the twitches, nervous twitches he had, and licking his lips. And I got these scars. Yeah. and just I like how they showed that that Joker was not crazy. He was crazy. He just wasn't insane. He was really smart. Everything he did was planned out to the T. That's how that movie started with that bank robbery. So when they said they were going to do a Joker solo movie, I said, that's intriguing. And they said Joaquin Phoenix. Now, I actually said, okay, I actually buy that. Because Joaquin Phoenix is a fantastic actor. Especially if he's going to play a bad guy. I hated him in Gladiator. I wanted to choke him myself.
Everybody. Comedies.
Yeah. But he did win me back over in that one movie he did, that police movie he did with Mark Wahlberg, We Own the Night, I think it's called. I actually really enjoyed him in that. But he's over time won me over as an actor. So I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with casting. And then I found out who the director was and what he's done in the past. It was like, him? He's gonna direct Joker? It's supposed to be a serious, dark ass movie. The guy that does comedy.
Great comedy.
Hangover. Yeah, Hangover and Old School and all that shit.
Starsky and Hutch.
It's gonna do Joker. Dark, scary movie. Don't knock it till you try, because look what Jordan Peele did. It's crazy the correlation between comedy and I don't want to say this is a horror movie, but just being able to go dark and be serious. This movie is more of a case study when you're talking Joker. And I say that because he's in every scene, which you don't see very often these days. Normally, the main attraction, the lead actor, is in the majority of the scenes. He's in every scene. Before I get into the actual movie, just want to know your thoughts when you were first of all, I want to know your thoughts if you can remember back to when you found out Heath Ledger was going to be Joker. And then you found out that Joaquin Phoenix was going to play Joker. And then at the end of this, I do want to ask, who was your favorite Joker? But as for right now, what were your thoughts on the casting of Joker over the years?
Okay, well, first Heath Ledger. Like you, when I first heard about it, I trust Christopher Nolan. He's a brilliant director, and I loved what he did with Batman Begins. So I knew that he must have saw something in Heath Ledger, but I was nervous, because I first of all, I didn't know what direction they would be going with the Joker. I could not see Heath Ledger embodying that character. Is it going to be serious? Is it going to be comedy? I couldn't really tell which way Christopher Nolan was going to go with that. But obviously, look, that's why he's the brilliant director that he is, because he chose the right man, the late Heath Ledger, to play Joker. It was an epic performance. If I recall, it was an Oscar-winning performance. It definitely was an Oscar-nominated performance. And we'll have to check on that. But I believe he did win posthumously for Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor. Epic performance. But yeah, I thought the casting was curious at first. Now, as far as the Joker we're discussing tonight, it was the director that worried me more than the casting. I thought Joaquin Phoenix would be a spectacular Joker. So I loved that when I heard it. But when I heard Todd Phillips from The Hangover and Starsky and Hutch was directing, man, that kind of gave me some pause. Now, our dearly departed Book, who anybody who watches knows is the biggest Batman Joker fan there ever was, he and I would talk about this, and we were both a little nervous because I've kind of been down this road before. Seth Rogen, who is a comedic actor and director, did his version of the Green Hornet, which I thought was a terrible disaster. And I was worried about something similar here. But as Book would later educate me, because he would read up and find out what was going on with the filming and the scripting. Todd Phillips is apparently a very passionate fan of Batman, the Joker, of comics, and this was a pet project of his. And so, because of the success of movies like Starsky and Hutch, Old School, and especially The Hangover, and he also did the 2 sequels, which I didn't think were nearly as good as the first one. He was able to, he had the cachet to do this. The studio was nervous, just like we were, like, come on, man, you do comedy. What is this? But he announced Joaquin Phoenix. That got people interested. It got me interested. So then it was just a matter of waiting to see the finished product. And that's why we're here. Talk about the finished product.
Yeah, I saw some of the stills. I was a little worried when I first saw the makeup. But it works. Just
Yeah.
like you all tell me about Macho Man and the graduation music, it worked. This worked.
Yeah, the makeup didn't worry me because I knew it was a different take. I knew they weren't going, this was going to be more based in reality than in a fantasy comic book world. It was going to be more based in a modern day reality.
Yeah. Unlike the movies we've done in the past and that we're going to do in the future, I'm really not going to go through and break it down. It's just kind of our thoughts, vague thoughts, because I don't want to spoil this for anybody that hasn't seen it. Maybe you were on the ropes about seeing it in the past when it came out. If anything, I just want to encourage people to check it out. It's really, really interesting. So before I get into why it's interesting, real quick plot summary. I mean, it's not a lot to it. Gotham City in the, I want to say the 80s, mid to late 80s. You got Arthur Fleck, who is a performing clown, works for an agency, is down on his luck. Even more down on his luck than he normally would be. His counselor has informed him that the benefits are shutting down. He will no longer be getting his medicine, and his life just continues to spiral out of control. And between finding out certain things about his past to dealing with things going on in his current life and trying to discover who he truly is in this movie, which he eventually does in the end when he becomes Joker. And I thought that it was a very well told story, beginning to end. And the thing that makes this movie most interesting and why I say you really need to watch it is because there's so many ways you could take this and you have your own perspective. You could tell your own Joker story because did these events really happen? Or was this all in his mind? Or was this taken from somebody's perspective? There's so many ways you could go with this because I've seen people debate about what really happened in this movie. And you really can take it there based on what happens. You got Robert De Niro, plays a show host, kind of like
a Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
Or Arsenio Hall, if you remember him more fondly.
Right. And so we got him in here. What's the girl's name? She has a cool name too. I can't think of it right now. She was in Deadpool. She was in Deadpool 2. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Sophie.
Huh?
Her name was Sophie, and her name is Zazie Beetz in real life.
Zazie Beetz. That's what it is. Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, cute girl. Very cute girl.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. She's a former model. Yeah, but very, very cute girl.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
But yeah, it's a very darker take on the character. I mean, you really kind of get into. I think they tried to take some of the things from the Killing Joke. I've never seen the cartoon. I just based on what I've read, they took the element of him wanting to be a stand-up comedian from that, and how he failed at it. And the one thing that I will say is the way that Joaquin Phoenix is able to express the laugh. That it's not so much that I'm crazy or I have a condition, and laughing at this type of laugh hurts. Like I'm choking on it, and I thought that was a unique and really good way to go. the score on this movie really stuck out to me the first time I saw it. It just stays with you. It's very simple. It's kind of it's reminiscent of kind of what Christopher Nolan was going for, but just more harmonizing. And I watched the video today with the orchestra when they did it, when they were doing the recording of it, and just having seeing the strings of the I want to say cellos or the basses, well, probably bass and cello together, and then you had the choir in the background doing the voice, kind of it was just spectacular. I mean, I the from that to the score to how the movie was shot, just the color palette, and then when you finally do get you finally get him in his Joker look when he dyes his hair and puts on the makeup and everything, the infamous dancing down the steps, all this stuff's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling nothing. It's unique, and there's even another part where he finds out a secret and he goes home and he stuffs himself in the fridge. And there's some people that believe that, after that part of the movie, that the rest of it did or didn't happen. And there's a whole lot of theories with this movie. I mean, you could take it any way you want to go, especially with the very, very end. You're like, was this all a dream? Would this actually happen? I mean, it's just, you just gotta check it out. You really gotta check it out. Joaquin lost so much weight. I think it was 50 pounds or something like that.
I read 52.
And he would only eat like an apple a day, to the point that he had to go to the hospital at one point because he wasn't eating enough. And to think that he's gonna go through that again to do the sequel with
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
That's just okay. The man would die for his art. But and he won
He did.
Best Actor.
Yeah.
As Joker. So Joker is a 2-time winner at the awards with this.
Deserved
So
it.
I looked it up. Heath Ledger won Best Supporting, and he won Best Actor.
Okay, yeah. So see,
So yeah, Joker. That tell you everything you need to know. Fantastic movie, and I hope that, I don't know how they would do it, but if you could mix the latest Batman with this Joker, classic. But Rob, your thoughts? Oh, if I was grading this is A+ all day long. This was the best movie of 2019. Period.
well, yeah. I mean, I'll just throw my grade out A+. I thought this film was an absolute game changer for comic book movies in general. We were so bombarded with Marvel, and nothing wrong with Marvel, and the Avengers, and everything was PG-13. This is one of the first comic book movies to go, and if you really call it a comic book movie, I'm not sure it's even accurate to call it that, but it deals with famous comic book character, but it went straight for the R rating, and I'm sure that made the studio nervous. Come on, we want the kids, we want to bring the kids to this one. No, Todd Phillips said no. We're going to
It
be
didn't
loyal.
just make the studio nervous, it made theaters nervous. They didn't even want to show this movie because of what happened with The Dark Knight Rises, the shooting at the theater. They thought this movie was going to spark more people to do that.
Right, because the movie does talk a lot about bullying and the results of what can happen. The movie is really, like you said, a character study. It is a brilliant, kind of disturbing descent into madness. You have a guy who's just really kind of a mild-mannered guy. He works for this company, Ha-Ha's, and he's a part-time clown. He's harmless, but circumstances in his life cause him to take on this persona, this alter ego that ultimately consumes him and causes him to do things that he probably wouldn't do. But it's amazing how, like you said, the movie can be interpreted different ways. Different scenes can be interpreted different ways. Is it this? Is it that? You also, it's also a hard balance when you're creating a character that eventually does these evil things, but you can kind of sympathize with him when you see what brought him to that point. He wasn't always this way, but certain things done to him by others, certain other circumstances drove him mad, drove him crazy. I thought it was just a brilliant performance by Joaquin Phoenix to embody that character and to take us on that journey of mild-mannered wannabe comedian to evil villain. It was just amazing to watch.
And there's a lot of, like I said, there is a lot of scenes, not a lot of scenes. There's a couple scenes where you really are like, is this really happening? And the one I'll throw out there is him on stage with the pad and paper. And I was kind of like, yeah, this, I don't know. But they really do kind of leave it up to your own mind. You can kind of make this your own story. They tell a story, but they leave it to where you can kind of tie up your own loose ends with a lot of things. But they don't. They tell a story, but they leave a lot of loose ends with this one, which wasn't a bad thing. Like I said,
No,
thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
I did too. And there are some appearances in this movie by characters we're familiar with from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just had a little bit of everything. I know that there were some detractors when this movie came out. Not everybody was crazy about this movie because it was different than what you normally expect from movies featuring this character. But I thought it was an absolute game changer. I can't wait for the sequel. Part of me didn't want them to make a sequel, to just leave this
I
one.
didn't.
Yeah, to just kind of leave this one as it was, because like I said, I thought it was so brilliant.
Yes.
But they've announced it. It's coming out, so I'm on board and I will be going to see it. But I'm tempering my expectations.
Yeah, because the ending is open-ended. And I feel like when you tell a story that well, leave the ending open-ended, you don't need to make a sequel. I mean, obviously, we're in a day and age where the studios can't help themselves. Money.
Yep.
I would, a sequel for this type of movie is going to be really hard to do because it's such an original story. So, can they do it? I'm not going to say they can't do it, but
I think they can, because look, there's so much material they could work from. You mentioned how a lot of this film was based on The Killing Joke. There's so much other source material they could use. It's just a matter of if they use the right material. I trust. Well, obviously, we know Joaquin Phoenix can play the role of the Joker.
yeah.
I don't know how people feel about Lady Gaga, but I think Lady Gaga is an amazing actress, and I know people love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, justifiably so. But I think Lady Gaga will be great in this role. So I have no doubt that the lead actor and lead actress will be fine. And Todd Phillips is back to direct. I like that. It just becomes a matter of the script and if they can put a good script together.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well, let us know in the comments. If you've seen Joker, let us know what you thought of the movie. And if you haven't seen it, please, 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 can't encourage you enough to go check it out. It is 2 hours, but it's so well done. I mean, if you're gonna shoot a movie like this and pay so much attention to the details,
yeah,
I mean, you really need to watch it a couple times to catch everything. But it's very linear. It's very easy to watch. It's not gonna confuse you. It's pretty straightforward. It just really, you really appreciate really well done acting by everyone in this movie.
right. And I can tell you're about to wrap up. While we do that, you did ask me a question.
I did ask. So
yes,
Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay, so, and I think this would be a good question for our listeners to answer as well.
Should we include
Season Earl.
no.
Oh, okay.
Uh
Oh no, you're gonna say Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
I mean, you can. I think he'll come in. Well, look, if I'm selecting, Leto comes in last. And boy, I hate to say this, but the great Jack Nicholson, who I love as an actor, he comes in third. This is a tough one. I think it all depends on what you like. Here's what I'm going to say. This is what I said to Book. He and I had this conversation. Ledger or Phoenix. I go Joaquin Phoenix only because of the evolution of the character. Heath Ledger comes on the screen, he's already Joker. He's already the maniacal Joker. Joaquin Phoenix comes on the screen as this meek, simple-minded Arthur Fleck. And he had to evolve into that character. And those characters are polar opposites. And he had, it was, like I said, a slow descent into madness. And he took us every step of the way. Like you said, he was in every scene of the movie. So for me, I lean towards Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, like you, Jared Leto's at the bottom. There's no surprise. It's tough between Joaquin and Heath. Man,
yeah, man, flip a damn coin. It's tough.
it is. It really is. Man, it's like 1A, 1B.
Well, who's your
I
winner?
would- Believe it or not, as much as I love this movie, I am gonna put Joaquin third. Only because, yes, I know Heath Ledger came in as Joker, but I was just blown away. I couldn't imagine him playing that role like he did and coming in and stealing every single scene he was in. Because the difference is in Dark Knight, he's not the lead, but every time he's on the screen, you just can't take your eyes off of him. You can, what he's gonna do next. And just how he planned out everything from the bank robbery to the getting arrested by the police to purposely go into the PD to blow it up and then get what they needed and then get out and then the flipping the addresses, like just fucking with Batman the entire time. Like I was like, okay, all right. So for that, I will put him just that much just by head again over Joaquin. I'm sorry. Jack Nicholson's always gonna be my favorite Joker. I grew up on him. He was absolutely insane, but he just had this. I don't know. I if you gave me one Joker to ever watch, I would choose Jack 100 times out of 100. I just would. I thought his performance was. I just loved it. I mean, yeah, by comparison today. They didn't have the technology and all that, but with what they had, he just fit. And to go from being, he was Jack Napier, and he go from being that kind of chill, cool back gangster to now playing this insane guy. From when the doctor takes the wrapping off his head and he's laughing and doing all that, and when they first introduced him, you can call me Joker. And as you can see. Yeah. I'm a lot happy.
For me, Nicholson was the best part about Batman 89. Unlike a lot of people, I wasn't crazy about Batman 89. I did not like the choice of Michael Keaton as Batman. I still am not crazy about that casting. But the only reason I give Jack third is because his was a more comedic performance. Doesn't mean it wasn't good, but Ledger's and Joaquin's were more on a serious thing. And I guess I just felt, and I'm no actor, and I don't know which is easier to do, but just on its face, to me, it seems more easier to do a comedic role than to take a character like Joker and make it based in reality. And yeah, that's why I get that.
Yeah. And another reason I go Jack then Heath is because they both had the goons. Jack had the goons with the purple cars and everything else to go with it. And he had Knox, his little side guy. So yeah, I Jack is always gonna be number one. That's just a heart thing. I take Y'all can say who the better actors are. Obviously, the two better actors are Heath and Joaquin. They won awards for it, but
Jack, I mean, Jack is a living legend. I'm just talking
Yeah.
strictly Joker role. But
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
interesting debate. So for you listeners out there, hey, give us your favorite Joker. And maybe there's some Jared Leto fans out there. Let us know. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We've been hard on Jared. I'm just saying. There's
Well-
got to be one or two of you out there.
I'll listen to the argument. But you got it's gonna be a weak one. But yes, so thank you all for watching or listening. I probably will make this one an audio. But yeah, can't wait to see Batman back in the Flash. And next week, I'll have a poll for next week. It'll be Batman theme. And after that, I think I want to do so. Next week will be a Batman theme. Then after that, I'll probably do a poll of Indiana Jones because I know we got the new one coming out. And
Even though the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was,
that one won't be on there.
I'm still going to this one. I love me some Indiana Jones.
But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much coming up movie wise. Batman next week, and then Indiana Jones the following. Polls, y'all can vote on which one y'all want us to do, and yeah, let us know in the comment section down below what y'all think of this review and what you thought of the movie. Who is your favorite Joker? Might even put a poll up for that. Who's your favorite Joker?
Oh yeah, that's a very interesting. I'd love to see the results of that poll.
Yeah, that one might have to go up. So take care, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll speak to y'all again soon. Peace.